And then I told Sarge, he can't have this show no more. Right? Oh, we live? Shalom, shalom. How y'all doing, family? We back at it again with another installment of the Couch Captivity Created. I really appreciate everyone that's in the crowd right now. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the reason why we keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? To edify y'all. I'd like to see y'all coming to get the edification. You know what I'm saying? Once again, it's your boy, Officer Kwadak, bringing you back, bringing another lesson. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple new lessons. I always got a lesson, but I got a couple two specific lessons that I've been working on that I really want to bring to the couch. So I was going to bring it out today, but I was kind of like, I want to work on it a little more. I want to get some more input because I want it to be a fire lesson for y'all, right? So I decided today we just gonna. Oh, I don't know, nigga. Good Lord. Damn. Throw me off. I decided today that we're going to keep it simple. We're going to go into, right, do you believe in reincarnation? Basically, the difference between reincarnation and regeneration, right? And what's biblical? You see what I'm saying? But first and foremost, I want to give call Allah Yahweh by Shemi Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Most High God and His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Go ahead and get this video out here, man. We're going to wait till a couple more people get up in here. We're going to get the lesson started. Go ahead and share it. Baba Kwashah, Baba Kwashah, Baba Kwashah. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody's week is going, you know, as like I like to say, as good as captivity gets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was just going to say, I hope everyone's doing well. Shalom Rappa Hall. You know what I'm saying? You know, send the volume up for Brother Rappa Hall. He got a little fever on him. You know what I'm saying? But you'll be all right, brother. Trust me, you'll be all right. As long as you believe that you're going to be all right, the Most High got your back. You have faith in what He doing His plan. You'll be all right, brother. Most High's will is Most High's will. You know what I'm saying? Even if you die, because, hey, it could be like that. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it up with you. But you'll be good, Rapper Hall. We'll send the volume up for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Soldier the Guard from Riverside. Powerful soldier who just got a powerful breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Like to powerfully resist niggas teaching him. But we love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Shalom playing upon the table. It's always good to see you. I see we got the Cali Valley brothers in the chat. Shalom Gawan, Unchained Mind. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to the sisters out there that are also watching as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all right. Let's get this lesson started. You know? So the first thing we're gonna go into before we get into anything biblical is going into the side of the opposition. Right? So two simple things. We're going to go into the definition of reincarnation and the origin of it, right? So let's start off by getting that definition of reincarnation, right? Because the question is, do you believe in reincarnation? Because a lot of people out there have an idea of what reincarnation is, but it might be a little flawed. You see what I'm saying? The thing that they might be actually thinking about is regeneration. You see what I'm saying? We'll get into what regeneration is as well. But, you know, for the sake of edification, let's go into what reincarnation really is, right? So, you said you can't see that? Damn.
I can read.
All right, come.
This is sourced from the Encyclopedia Britannica. Right? Reincarnation, religious belief. Reincarnation, also called transmigration or metempsychosis in religion and philosophy, rebirth of the aspect of an individual that persists after bodily death, whether it be consciousness, mind, the soul, or some other entity in one or more successive existences. Depending upon the tradition, the existences may be human, animal, spirit, or in some instances, vegetable. While belief in reincarnation is most characteristic of South Asian and East Asian traditions, right? It also appears in the religious and philosophical thoughts of local regions and some ancient Middle Eastern religions. For example, the Greek Orphic mystery or salvation, religion, Manichaeism, and Gnosticism, as well as in such modern religious movements as Theosophy.
Right. So to summarize all that, reincarnations dealing with when you die, right? Because we all know as human beings, there is a cycle of life going on. We understand that when you die, you come back, right? So it's dealing with that concept, but it's opening the door to you can come back as a vegetable, or you can come back as a butterfly, or anything else that has some type of living existence. I think that's the right way to say it, in a sense, that has a soul, a living thing. You see what I'm saying? A living thing, right? So that's pretty much what reincarnation is, right? So real quick, we scroll a little bit down into it. We're going to get the origin of it and see where it comes from, right? And then I'm going to make that connection with the Bible real quick, and then we're going to get into regeneration, right? Go ahead.
Con. Among the ancient Greeks, the Orphic mystery religion held that a pre-existent soul survives bodily death and is later reincarnated in a human or other mammalian body, eventually receiving release from the cycle of birth and death and regaining its former pure state. Plato, in the 5th and through 4th century BCE, believed in an immortal soul that participates in frequent incarnations.
So we understand, right, that this concept of reincarnation, it starts with the ancient Greeks, right? You can go ahead and get the little rest of that. But remember that it starts with the ancient Greeks.
Okay. The major religions that hold a belief in reincarnation, however, are Asian religions, especially Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism.
Right?
All of which arose in India.
Right. So we understand, because a lot of people actually are under the impression that reincarnation comes from, Elam or even Moab or Ammon. But you got to remember,
the ancient Greeks came before them, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Right. That's what I was getting into, right? That people think that they're the ones that came up with it, but they're the ones who really got it from somewhere, but are really they're the ones who promote it the most within their religions, right? So and it's a strong concept within the religions as well. Like they hold on tight to that. Like they'll let you know that you could be born and come back as something else. But a lot of people don't really hear that the origins of reincarnation came from the Greeks, right? Now, if anybody knows anything about the Greeks, they know that the Israelites were at one time in captivity under them, right? And we have to understand there's a lot of things. Hey, if you haven't read the book of Maccabees 1 and 2, go read that. You know what I'm saying? But understand, in any captivity is a troublous time, but one of the Greek captivities, one of the nastiest captivities that we ever been in, as far as abominations go and stuff, right? As far as them really forcing things upon our people, like they were really pushing what they believe in, right? You got that? Go ahead and read that out.
Second Maccabees.
Salakia, what's going on?
I didn't know the verse.
Oh, Salakia, my bad.
Second Maccabees, chapter 11, verse 24.
Yeah. Second Maccabees chapter 11 and verse 24.
This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 11.
Start from verse 22.
This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 11, verse 22. Now, the king's letter contained these words: King Antiochus unto his brother Lysias sent greetings.
Right.
Verse 23. Since our Father is translated unto the gods, our will is that they that are in our realm live quietly, that everyone may attend upon his own affairs.
So this is a letter coming from Antiochus unto his brother Lysias, right? Basically going into their forefathers, right? Translated unto other gods, going into their gods, right? And he has a will. And his will is what? That they are in our realm, live quietly, that everyone may attend upon his own affairs, right? But on the flip side, in case anyone doesn't know what that really is going into, right? When it says that, they are in their own realm, live quietly, that everyone may attend upon his own. As a matter of fact, let's get that into. Could you get that into G&T to make it easier for people to understand? God. You can go ahead and read it again.
God. Starting at verse 22.
Yeah, verse 22.
Huh.
No, you can read it again until you finish it up.
Second Maccabees, chapter 11, verse 22. And the king's letter contained these words: King Antiochus unto his brother Lysias sent greetings. Since our Father is translated unto the gods, our will is that they that are in our realm live quietly.
So his father translated, talking about their father passed away, right? Translated, you thinking he translated unto their gods, right? But it's going into the realm of where they live quietly. Give them 1 second.
So I'm about to look for it. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, 11 and 22. You can read that. Okay, so all right, there we go.
This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 11, verse 22 in the G&T. Here's a copy of the king's letter. King Antiochus to the honorable Lysias, greetings. And now that my father has gone to be with the gods, I want to subject of all I want the subject of the kingdom to conduct their own affairs without interference.
Right. So basically, the subjects that's under the Greek captivity, under that Greek kingdom, right? He wants them to do what they do according to whatever they believe in. Right. Go ahead. Verse 24.
Verse 24. I understand that the Jews do not wish to adopt the Greek way of life.
And you understand at this time we did not want to adopt what the Greeks were doing, right? Go ahead.
As my father had intended, but preferred their own ways of life and have requested that they be allowed to live according to their own customs.
Right. So at this point in time, right, he was okay. In this letter, it seemed like it was okay with them that we were living according to our own customs, right? But watch this. Give me the book Second Maccabees. I see that. That's hilarious. That's like it. Go on mute real quick. All right, Khan, Salakia. Go ahead.
Con.
I gotta do one at a
I
time.
know, Khan. Wait for you to get it on the screen. Khan. All right. So now we're going to get into how the laws that we were trying to abide by, the Greeks weren't having it, and they wanted us to abide by their customs, right? So we're going to pull that in First Maccabees chapter 6. I mean, Salakia, 1 and 41, and then we can get 6 and 6 after that.
Con, this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be one people, right? Go ahead. Everyone should be on the same page. Go ahead.
Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consent to his religion and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
Right there. So we see that when this decree went out, a lot of the Israelites consented to the Greeks' customs to live as Greeks, right? Go ahead and get that in 6 and 6 now.
Con, this is Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees,
Yeah.
chapter 6, verse 6. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
And eventually it became unlawful for you to even do the customs that the Most High wanted you to do, right? So we were pushed into the corner and forced to, abide by the customs of the Greeks, right? That also includes the concept of reincarnation. And you see that concept, which originated from the Greeks, and it gets pushed to other heathens, right? And they also push it in their religions as well. And you also see in modern day Christianity or even Catholicism, they believe in that as well. Now, you have some of the sect that believes that yes, if you die, you come back in the flesh and only if in the flesh. But you also have that batch that believes that you can come back as an animal or a plant or any type of, living entity, right?
A tree.
A tree. You see what I'm saying? But we have to understand that when you're dealing with reincarnation, we're pretty much talking about you can come back as anything, right? The concept of you die and you come back in the flesh, that's dealing with regeneration. But it gets a little deeper, right? So let's start with Matthew 1:1. And then we're going to get a generation in the blue letter, right?
God, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
Right, the son of David and the son of Abraham. So we understand just by this verse, this is a verse we use to prove that Christ is a regeneration of Isaac and a regeneration of Solomon, right? The son of David and the son of Abraham. Let's get the definition for generation.
Strong's 1078. Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Source: origin. A book of one's lineage,
Lineage.
i.e., in which his ancestry or
Progeny.
progeny or
Enumerated.
Use of birth,
Nativity.
nativity,
Right.
of which follows origin,
Mm-hmm.
exists life,
Mm-hmm.
the will of life, or explain it, the will of a human origin, which as soon as a man are born begins to run, i.e., its course of life.
Right. So that first one, it says a book of one's lineage in which his ancestry or progeny are enumerated. Right. So that's the specific thing with regeneration. Yes, you die and you come back as another person, but it's not just some random person like you die and you come back as a Ammonite or you die and come back as a Elamite. No, you come back in the line of your ancestry, right? So as we see in Matthew 1:1, right? Christ in his past life was Solomon and Isaac. And when you go into Matthew 1:1, it breaks down his genealogy. So you can see through this bloodline, he was reborn into different regenerations, right? Now, let's get give me the book of Matthew 19 and verse 28.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28.
Go ahead.
And Jesus said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
Now watch. So no, actually keep going.
Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
So this is Christ talking to 12 apostles, right? That they're going to be sitting on the 12 thrones, and he's going to be sitting on the throne of his glory. What is this talking about? This is talking about the kingdom to come. This is talking about our kingdom, our reign that's going to come after our deliverance, our salvation out of Babylon, right? But how are they going to do that? As far as I know, most of the apostles got killed off. They died. They're not alive till this day. So how are they going to sit upon the 12 thrones? It says they're going to follow him in the regeneration. Everyone who was there back then, they're here today now. That is the only way that they can be fulfilled in these future prophecies. You see what I'm saying? Now watch. Let's go into that definition of regeneration. Because aside from just people coming back through their lineage, Christ is also getting at something else as well in this verse. So go ahead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's always gonna happen.
Yeah. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm bigger. That's this guy. Strong's 3824.
G.
G 3824. Palingenesia.
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 Mm-hmm.
Rebirth.
A new
birth.
Uh-huh.
Reproduction.
Reproduction. And how do we reproduce? Through our seed, right? Go ahead.
Renewal. Recreation. Regeneration.
So you can skip down to the Strong's definition. No, this is the Strong's definition.
You want me to start
Go ahead. See
it? Spiritual rebirth, the state of act.
the state or the act, right?
The spiritual
renovation, right? Spiritual renovation.
Yeah, spiritual renovation, especially Masonic restoration, regeneration.
Right? Now, go back up. Well, actually, just right there, Strong's G1078. The root of that word, right? Go ahead. We can see is boom. The same word that we just went into, right? So we understand when we're dealing with regeneration, we're dealing with us coming back, right? Through our bloodline, through our seed after a few generations. Like they say, what they say in the Lion King, it's the circle of life. It's the wheel of life. It's a cycle that we go through, right? Now, let's get Ecclesiastes. So let's go ahead and get Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Start from verse 16.
Ecclesiastes?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment.
Now watch. What is the place? Let's get some interactions in the chat, right? What is the place of judgment that's under the sun? What is this talking about? Go ahead.
That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
Right. Where is this place of judgment that's under the sun? go. Soldier the car on point, right? Not with his name. You can't rep two camps at the. That don't matter, right? But you on point with the answer. It says that the place under the sun, that place would be the earth. So we understand that the earth is the place of judgment, right? Now, watch this. Go ahead and jump down to verse 20.
Con. Verse 20. All go under one place. All go unto one place. All are of the dust, and all return. All turn to the dust again.
It's okay. Take your time. Take your time, King. Take your time. You know what I'm saying? We all going to one place, right? When we die, hey, we go back into the dust. But it says going to the dust again. So we understand, right, that we have to come back in order to go into the dust again, right? Go ahead and go to verse 21.
Con. Verse 21. Who knoweth the spirit of the man that goeth upward?
You said the spirit goes where?
Upward.
It goeth upward, right? Go ahead.
And the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth.
And the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth, right? So we understand when we're dealing with spirits, right? The spirit go up to that third heaven with the Most High. When it's time for that spirit to come through that regeneration, it comes back down to the earth. Now we're going to get into why it's called the place of judgment, right? Go ahead and give me the book of John chapter 9, and we're going to start from the top.
Come. It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Right.
Verse 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents,
Right.
that he was born blind?
So automatically, right, we see his disciples asking when they see this man and they know that he's blind from birth, they automatically get to asking, did he sin? Did his parents sin? You see what I'm saying? What happened to where he was blind from birth? Why are they asking that? Right? Go ahead and read the verse 3.
God. It's the book of John, chapter 9, verse 3. Jesus answered, neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him.
Now, this specific man that was blind, he wasn't blind from birth because he sinned or his parents sinned. It's just because that's how the Most High wanted it to be. And you read further on that Yahushua performs a miracle on him. But I wanted you to read verse 3 just for the simple fact that we know that it's the Most High that gives out the judgments ultimately, right? So we understand when you die, the sins that you've committed in the life where you died, you do pay for them in your next life. Hence why it says the place under the sun, which is the earth, is the place of judgment. Because when you're coming back to the earth, this is where you're living out your judgment from the sins of your past life. You see what I'm saying? Now, we're going to get into some more examples of regeneration, right? Let's get Matthew 11, verse 13. As a matter of fact, real quick, give me the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 17, real quick, before we go into more examples. The saying of you gotta suffer your consequences. And that's why in the scriptures it talks about long suffering. Because we have to endure our judgment that we're living in this life because of the sins that we committed in our past life. You see what I'm saying? We have to pay for those consequences, right? So go ahead and give me the book of Job chapter 3 and give me, I believe it's verse 17.
This is the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 17. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest.
Hold on. Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead. Read that again.
Come, this is the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 17. There the wicked cease from troubling,
There the wicked cease from troubling. Go ahead.
and there the weary be at rest.
And there the weary be at rest, right? So we understand that being actually hold on a second. Scroll up real quick. Start from verse. No. Because yeah, I know something about the birth thing. But
You could read 5 and 6 to get the context of what he's talking about.
yeah, we could start from 3. No,
I mean, you could start from the top because he
good.
said,
We'll start from 5 and 6, right? Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, start from verse
The
5.
book of Job, chapter 3, verse 5. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the dead.
Start from verse 3.
Come.
Yeah, start from verse 3.
The book of Job, chapter 3, verse 3. Let the day perish wherein I was born,
Let the day perish wherein I was born. Go ahead.
and let the night in which it was said, there is a man child conceived.
Go ahead.
Let that day be darkness.
He said, let that day be darkness. Go ahead.
Let not God regard it from above.
Neither what?
Neither let thy light shine upon it.
Right. Now, we pull this scripture to cut birthdays, but it's a reason why Job is saying this, right? Why would you want to worship the day that you're born, right? When in reality, when you're born, you do understand that you're going to have to live out the judgment that the Most High has for you. So why would you sit up there and celebrate the day of that? You see what I'm saying? That's why I said, let not God regard it from above when people are, holding the day of their birth up so highly. Because at the end of the day, we understand when we come back on this earth, it's not for a celebration, right? We got work to be done, but then we also got to pay for the consequences. We got to pay for the sins, right? And live out the consequences that we did in our last life, right? Go ahead.
Come, verse 6.
Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Yeah, there you go.
Come, verse 5. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it.
Mm-hmm.
Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 6. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined until the days of the year. Let it not come unto the number of the months.
Right. And Job is really emphasizing on, listen, don't uphold this day, because remember what Job's kids, their judgment for celebrating birthday is, right? So you got to understand where Job is coming from. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
drop down to 11.
Drop down to 11. Go to verse 11.
Right. This is the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 11. Why die I not from the womb?
What you saying? Why? When I come out my mom's womb, how come I can't just die? Go ahead.
Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out the belly?
Right. Go ahead.
Why did the knees prevent me? Or why did the breast that I should suck?
So he's wondering, he's asking, why couldn't let any of the, hold on a second. He was just saying, right? Why can all these things happen to prevent me from being born? Right? Go ahead.
Drop down to 17.
Chapter 17.
That's
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 17. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest.
Right. So because he's saying if that happens, right, the wicked will cease from troubling and the weary would be at rest, right? So it's basically emphasizing on this lot, being born ain't no, easy going thing. We have to live out a judgment when we're out here on this earth, right? And, like I was saying before with the example of, Job's kids, we understand what happened when they were celebrating a birthday, right? So let's go ahead and get Matthew 11. The book of Matthew, chapter 11, and we're going to start from verse 13.
$11 and what?
Verse 13. Hold on, we got a question in the chat. Sarge, can you show me that their judgment was for celebrating birthdays? Okay, let's get the book of Job.
I just think the point to that is Job definitely prayed because he knew it wasn't right.
Right, and he's doing he's making atonements for the. Yeah.
But as far as the judgment, you got to bring that out.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see where this question is stemming from. Okay. Salakia, I might have talked too fast, right? I'm saying what had happened when they were celebrating the birthday, right? We understand what happened right after that. I'm not saying specifically that specific judgment was for them celebrating birthdays, but I'm saying this, what Job was saying in chapter 3, this is after the fact of them celebrating the birthday. That's the point that I was trying to make. Not that specific judgment was for them celebrating the birthday. That's not at all what I'm saying, right? So like, I might have stumbled on my words. Yeah. But you saw what?
Is it Matthew 11?
It was Matthew 11. Matthew 11, start from verse 13. What the? Oh, you still on the? No, you good. You out of order. You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come.
Right. So I hear it saying that, and in the prophecy is fulfilled that John the Baptist, that he was Elijah. He's a regeneration of Elijah, right? Let's get the book of Malachi, chapter 4, and verse 5.
I think just reiterate that point a little bit because that's a powerful point that you just made.
God.
Right? Might need a little more context.
Where you want me to start? Where you want me to start from?
At 11. You know what I mean? It's just to show
well,
the conversation.
Kind. You can start from verse 11. Before you get Malachi 4 and 5, start from verse 11.
Yeah, I would definitely want to hear a little bit more context on that because that's.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 11. Verily, I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there has not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
Right. Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
Right. So, like it's saying here, that there is no man greater than John the Baptist. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist,
And from the days of John the Baptist, go ahead,
until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence,
and the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. Right.
and the violent taking it by force.
And the violent take it by force. Right. So when we're dealing with the kingdom suffereth violence, that's talking about us. That's talking about on earth. Right. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
And for all the prophets, right, they prophesied unto John. Go ahead.
And if we will receive it,
And if you were to come to this understanding, go ahead.
this is Elias, which was for to come.
If you come to this understanding that John the Baptist is Elijah regenerated in flesh, right? Go ahead and get Malachi 4 and 5, right, to see where that prophecy came from. And then after that, we're going to go back to the book of Job so we can see why Job kids died. Malachi 4 and 5.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
God. So like you read that again?
Come. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet
He said he will send us Elijah the prophet. Go ahead.
before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Right. Okay, so real quick, we're going to retouch on why Job's kids died. So let's go ahead and go to the book of Job, chapter 1. You can start from start from verse 4. Yeah, start from verse 4.
Come, this is the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 4. And his sons went and feast in their houses, everyone his day,
Everyone his day, right? Go ahead.
and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them.
And when it's talking about everyone his day, it's talking about celebrating the birthday, right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sacrificed them. Sanctified them.
Whoa. Sanctified, not sacrificed. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Sanctify them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all.
Right.
For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts.
God. Go ahead.
Thus did Job continually. Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So Satan was coming to and fro from the earth, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8, And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth?
Have you thought about my servant Job? He's different from everybody else, right? He's perfect in the law. He's an upright man. Go ahead.
And perfect and upright man. One feareth God and sheweth evil.
Sheweth evil, right? Go ahead.
Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doeth Job fear God for nothing? Not.
Right.
Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all he hath on every side?
Right. Go ahead.
Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and the substance of his increase in the land. Verse 11. But put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Right. So what is going on now? Now Satan is saying, okay, well, if Job is so perfect, why don't I go down there and tempt him and test him, put him through all these things to see that he will curse the Most High? Right. You can go ahead and get verse 12.
Verse 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord.
And Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord to what? To go and test Job. Now, the reason that Job's kids died was for the simple purpose of testing Job. Satan tempting him, taking all these things away from him until he's barren, until he had nothing, just to see if he would curse the Most High God. Right? Does that answer your question?
I mean, we might as well read 13 through 15, maybe 16.
We can get it. Well, hold on.
This is
because it'll jump down to at the bottom is the part when the four winds came to the house, and then it pretty much
might as well read the point.
Let's start from Job 1 and 18. Start from 18, right?
Book of Job, chapter 1, verse 18.
Because this is where Satan started tempting Job, right? Go ahead.
While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the four corners of thy house. And it fell upon the young men.
Right.
And they are dead.
Right. So the wind came in and smoked the four corners of the house, called the house collapsed, right? It fell upon the young men and they died. Right. Go ahead.
And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
Then
verse 21. Go ahead.
Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiped.
He started worshiping the Most High God. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Right. You can go ahead and get verse 22 too.
Verse 22. And in all this Job sinned not,
right,
nor charged God foolishness.
Right, but that point right there in verse 21, where it's talking, that's where he starts talking about the whole birth thing, right? So he says, so they wasn't wicked. No, they were wicked. They were wicked. But the simple purpose of them dying was to test Job, right? Not to say that they weren't wicked. Like, so, all right. Now, let's go ahead and get back to Matthew, right? Let's get Matthew chapter 19 and verse 28. Go ahead. Go away from him to get on the screen.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the thrones of his glory,
right,
ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
And we understand that this is talking about in these last days after we get delivered out of captivity, right? So let's go to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 14, right? Which goes into the time and place when these 12 disciples are going to be sitting on these thrones. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21? 21, verse 14.
So I get start from the top.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
We saw a new heaven and a new earth, right? Go ahead.
For the first heaven,
for that first heaven,
and the first earth were passed away.
Right.
And there was no more sea.
Go to verse 2, right? Verse 2.
Verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven.
Right. So we talk about that new heaven, that new rulership, right? So that new rulership, right? And the new earth that's going into the holy city, the new Jerusalem, the kingdom that's going to come after, right? Our deliverance from Babylon. Go ahead.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men.
Right.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people.
Jump down to let me see, like verse. Jump down to verse 10.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 10.
Right.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of the heaven from God.
Right. So we know that this is talking about that new kingdom that is to come after our deliverance, right? Go ahead and jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. And had a wall great and high.
And the kingdom had a wall that was great, right, and high, and it had how many gates?
And had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 angels.
Right.
And the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Right. And this kingdom is going to have 12 gates, and each gate is for each tribe of the children of Israel. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
You can jump down to 14.
Verse 14.
Right.
And the wall of the city had 12 foundations.
Right.
And in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
Right. And the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Because what did Yahushua tell them? He said they're going to follow him in the regeneration, and you're going to sit upon these thrones. How are they going to do that? They can only do that through regeneration because they died in their days, right? Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Kind of, what was the point of bringing out this precept? Shalom, officer Apayat Shalom, Gabar. So that's Job 4:7. Kind of. Well, we'll wait to see the reason why he said, just let you know everyone dies for their own deeds.
Yeah, it was a rhetorical question, and that was being posed in Job. It's like whoever heard of the innocent being cut off.
Right.
Like, you get cut off because you did something wrong.
Right. That part. Whether it
So,
be
rhetorical question.
right, and plus whether it be your past life or the life that you're living as well. See what I'm saying? Good. Okay. I see why you pulled that precept. I think that might have been that wasn't it though. But that's a good precept. Now let's get the book of Titus chapter 3 and verse 5.
Would you finish with Revelation?
Yeah, we're done with Revelation.
Because you started at, I think you started at 21.
No. I just went back to the top to get some context, and then we went to 14, 12 to 14.
No, but that's where you finishing off there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the point was just to show that in these last days, in the kingdom, right, that's to reign forever, that the apostles will be sitting on the throne, right?
Okay.
At that point, they'll be sitting on the throne through their regeneration. But Christ said he's going to follow them through, right?
Okay.
All right. So now let's get the book of Titus chapter 3 and verse 5. You said what?
This is the book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to the mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Ghost.
Now watch, like I was saying earlier, in your regeneration in your next life, you do pay for your past sins. But ultimately, we understand that we should be destroyed. But through Yahushai, right, the Most High has given us mercy and grace to get our ish together, right? So in our regeneration, we have to get it right. And when it's saying by the renewing of the Holy Ghost, we understand that the Holy Ghost brings the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this book to be righteous people in our next lives, right? So, right, give me the book of, give me John chapter 1 and verse 19. It's another precept for John, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of John, chapter 1, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the recording of John.
The record.
The record. The record of John. When the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, who art thou?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 20. And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ.
That he is not the Savior, right? He is not the Yahushai that's on the scene that y'all thinking of, but this is who I am, right? Go ahead.
And that goes back to what you brought out in John earlier, because they sitting around going, hey, when Elijah come back, the kingdom is coming back.
Right. And so they were expecting when they heard John say that he's Elijah, they're so like, okay, so where's his kingdom? Right. Well, you have to understand that he may be Elijah brought back in a regeneration, but it's talking about a latter time, right? But this also just goes to the simple fact that through prophecy, but through lineage, you can sometimes, dependent through the spirit, right? Through the spirit, right? I don't mean go back and thinking, oh, I might be King David or I might be Booty Wop. Nah, we understand through the spirit and through prophecy that we sometimes you're able to pinpoint who these prophets were in their regeneration. You see what I'm saying? By fulfilling a prophecy. It's that conflict.
Shout out Gazar. my brother Gazar.
Yeah, Shalom,
What's happening, King?
Shalom, Riverside. You know what I'm saying? But Con, go ahead. Get back to John.
Con. It's the book of John, chapter 1, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elijah?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I am not.
Right.
Art thou the prophet? That prophet? And he answered, no.
So now he's denying it, right? He's denying it, right? But why? Go ahead.
Verse 22. Then said they unto him, who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself? Verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I am the voice of the crying in the wilderness.
Of one crying.
Verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
making straight the way of the Lord. As said the prophet
Isaiah, right? That's what Isaiah was saying, right? The prophecy of John Baptist, right? Go ahead.
Verse 24. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. Verse 25. And they asked him and said unto him, why baptize thou then, if thou be not that Christ, nor Elijah, neither that prophet?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 26. John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there standeth one among you whom ye know not.
God.
Verse 27.
Hold on. Scroll down a little bit. Jump down to verse.
Just finish that.
Con. Finish that.
Verse 27. He it is whom come after me is preferred before me, whose shoelace I am not worthy to unloose.
Drop down to where?
God, hold on 1 second. We're gonna drop down to verse. And that was John. Yeah, that was John.
Probably 29.
No. Hold on, I got a keyword it. 1 second.
What you looking for?
Hold on a second. Go on mute real quick. Come. So the scripture I was trying to find was basically the one that's going into you have no remembrance of who you are in their past life. Because we read earlier where it's revealed that John actually is Elijah, but pretty much he's denying it because he has no solidified proof to even say to them that I am Elijah. That's the scripture that I was thinking of. I was thinking it was in this chapter. I gotta find it, but we can move on to the next point. Give me the book of Luke, chapter 9 and verse 18. Because this is another John the Baptist scripture, right? Go ahead.
God, this is the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 18. And it came to pass, as he was alone praying, his disciples were with him. And he asked them, saying, whom say the people that I am?
Go ahead.
Verse 19. They answered, said, John the Baptist. But some say Elijah, and others say that one of the old prophets is risen again. Verse 20. And he said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? Peter answered and said, the Christ of God.
Right. All right. So go to Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 11. Because we see in multiple places. Yeah, there we go. We see in multiple places where it says that John is Elijah, right? But when the Levites went and asked him, who art thou? Are you Elijah? He said, no, I can't really say that. But there's a reason why he said that, right? Go ahead. Yeah, chapter 1 and verse 11. Yeah, that's the verse I want.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things.
There is no remembrance of the former things, right? And we can see earlier where it talks about. Go ahead and finish that.
Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
Right. So there is no remembrance of the things of our past lives, right? Go ahead and jump to verse 9 real quick, right?
Go up to 9?
Yeah, go up to 9.
This is verse 9. The thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done.
Right.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
And there is no new thing under the sun. The same set of spirits that are upon this earth are to come back. There's no new thing under the sun. That's what that verse is going into, right? So now let's get Revelation chapter 10 and verse. Get Revelation chapter 10 and verse 10. Right. Go ahead.
This is the book of
wait for him to get on the train. Yeah.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 10 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the little book out of the hand of the angel's hand.
Right. And this is John the Revelator, right? The little book the angel was giving to him, right? Go ahead.
And ate it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in my mouth, sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
Why? Because we understand reading the things of this book and accepting it, these are good things. We got a kingdom to come. We're going to get the promises that the Most High made to us, right? But the things that we have to do beforehand will make your belly bitter. Because it's a lot of things we got to go through before we get to that point. There's a lot of work that we have to put in, right? Go ahead and read verse 11.
Verse 11. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many people and nations and tongues and kings.
He said, you got to listen. You're going to have to do these things. You're going to have to do these things again. You may have did it in your past life. You did it in your life before that. But just know, when you die and come back on this earth, you have to prophesy again, right? Give me Matthew 16 and verse 28. And we're going to close it out with that.
I got a precept too.
You do? Okay, come on.
It's related to that in Ezekiel. I think it's in chapter 3.
Come on.
But yeah, it is. I think it's chapter 3. Real quick, we just read that.
Mm-hmm.
I could bring it out while you're getting that.
Come on, you can.
Yeah, we were just talking about, you know, when it was in his belly, it was bitter. Because like you just said, everybody is excited and on fire to be in the truth. But once you learn what's required of you, it leaves a bitter taste to some brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like understanding and knowing and hearing the truth is one thing, doing it is another.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And Ezekiel said pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, because one thing, and just a quick point to add to that, because we understand, like we have a saying here, you know, in Long Beach specifically, but I've heard a couple brothers around say it, but you know, you come into this truth, things don't get easy. You know what I'm saying? They get harder. Life gets harder. It's easy to go and do that wickedness. You see what I'm saying? I made that point in the previous lesson that I did on here, right? It's easy to go do the wickedness. It's easy to go off because you're not held to no standard. You're pretty much like, you just like you're just free roaming, doing whatever you want to do. But do you understand that there's a judgment for that? You do have to pay for that. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so bitter, right? When you come to the understanding, like, damn, I gotta go through all this suffering just to be an example for my people. For some of these people that don't even care about what you're bringing out, that don't even care about the Most High, that forsake the Most High, right? God, that was a good precept. You got what I want? Matthew 16?
Yeah.
God, go ahead and bring that up.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
Verily I say unto you, there be such standing here, which shall not taste death, till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
Now watch, like we just went over at Revelation 10 and 10, that you're going to have to prophesy again and again and again, right? But he's saying that there are some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Now, is this talking about you living forever? No. It's the same thing we've been talking about. When it's talking about not tasting of that death, it means not tasting of that destruction, man. Everyone who was here back then is here now. If you're putting work in your last life, in your past life, right? You're going to be putting in work now until the kingdom come, man. It's going to keep going and going and going until we get out this hellhole, right? So that pretty much concludes the lesson of. It don't look like I'm prison or something. God, that concludes the. It's stupid. All right, but that pretty much concludes the lesson of, do you believe in reincarnation? Cleaning up the misconception of, you know, what reincarnation is for regeneration, right? Because they're two different things, right?
Questions?
With that, you got any questions, comments, emotional responses, smoke? You know what I'm saying? I'll try to get it up. God, appreciate it, King. You know what I'm saying?
He said, you taking all smoke?
Yeah, like smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Can I play demon?
Real smoke, real scarfers.
Can I play demon?
What?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, And with that, get a couple little shout outs, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, $ Bazak, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and send in your alms. If you've been sinning, you know what I'm saying? If you trying to knock some sins off your past life, you might want to send some alms. It didn't say which life your sins, it just said for sins, period. So you can go ahead and send your alms to $ Bazak. You know what I'm saying? We also got Bazak that he also makes tassels as well. So if you wanted your tassels, you can go ahead and hit up Bazak, you know what I'm saying? Also want to shout out Quadash Staffs as well. Powerful brother, you know what I'm saying? Using the staff making business. Man, I wish you had the little pictures up and stuff, but if you go look up Quadash Staffs on Facebook, you'll see pretty much his work. And
Yeah.
hey, man, that brother's a real craftsman.
I think his tag is Kodash Shakari.
Yes, Quadash Shakari on Facebook, right? And then we got our children's Bibles from Deacon, you know what I'm saying, with illustrations from the Bible, you know what I'm saying, with what the actual color is, you know what I'm saying? Not no whitewash rendition of our heritage, you see what I'm saying?
Hey,
Right.
we got that convict music with Brother Gazal.
Convict Music, shout out Gazai as well. The brother does music and also his brand, Wise and Harmless. Go ahead and get you some Wise and Harmless merch. Shout out Ramamoth, the priest, you know what I'm saying, his brand For the Nation. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get you some For the Nation drip. Also, we got our chief priest, Alazar Von Loyal, aka the Gorilla Hebrew, with his line, Gorilla, right? He sells mugs, hats, sweaters, merch, all these businesses from Sakari, man. We gonna get you right. You in this truth, Sakari gonna get you right as far as the drip go, right? Even the breakdowns and all for it, right?
Are you trying to say you clean today?
Oh, very clean.
You know so
what
fresh
I'm
and so clean.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I learned from the best. I learned from the best. I'll never admit that again. I learned from the best.
You got a fan up.
I do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Some people peep the drip. You know what I'm saying? I got some real fans in the trap. Love you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But with that, we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I like to say, how about Shimmy Al Shabrak Thumb? Shalom.
Shalom.